Thank you. My name's Timmy Nash, and I'm from Merle's Inlet, South Carolina. And I'm here today to honor the life of Bobby Lee. He was like a father. Just tough. I have so many blessings in my life. I have 3 beautiful daughters, a smoking hot wife, 2, an older sister, two wonderful, caring parents, brand new grandson. I have so many blessings to be thankful for. But one of the greatest in my life has been Bobby. Bobby came to Myrtle Beach a few years before I was born. He stayed at a hotel that my mother and father ran in Myrtle Beach. And they became great friends. Bobby would play music at night in some of the clubs with several bands, and he would lay out by the pool all day long. And, just sunbathe. And that's whenever he got to know my sister. He actually taught her to swim. And the friendship lasted a long, long time. Bobby, soon after, about a year later, moved to Nashville and moved on to do great things, as Alex has spoken, and played the Ryman Auditorium, the largest stage in country music. Things that people dream about. But once again, all those great things that he did, that's not what sticks out in my mind. All those great things. It's the love that he carried in his heart. Bobby moved away to Nashville for about a year. And he came to vacation for a summer for 2 weeks with my parents. And this was when I was 7 years old. This was many years later. I was asleep when he came in, but the next morning, he woke me up, he snatched me up, and he told me, "Hey, you want to go to the Holiday Inn pool party?" I was just a little kid, had no idea what he was talking about. So, of course, I went with him. And he had a huge car, a Lincoln Continental with blue velvet interior. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. Just a huge car. And we drove to the Holiday Inn, which was about 3 miles from my home. And when we got there, there were people everywhere. It was the hugest pool party thing I had ever seen. There was a full live band playing. The bar was packed. There were kids playing in the pool. I spent the entire day swimming in front of his chair. He kept a close eye on me. He even gave me a few bucks to go play with the kids in the hotel arcade. And after leaving the pool, we went for hamburgers and ice cream after. I'm telling you, it was like the greatest day for a 7-year-old in your life. I mean, it was a full day of nothing but activities, having the most fun I've ever had. And when we got home, I told him, I said, "I'll go with you again anytime you want to go." And so he said, "You can go with me again tomorrow." And so I went. Bobby took me somewhere every day that he was there for those 2 weeks. Staying for vacation, taking time out to make sure that he gave me all the attention. He was that person. He wanted to make sure somebody else was happy. Whenever he got ready to go back to Nashville and leave from his vacation, that time just had flown by. I cried my eyes out. It was like my best friend was leaving. He told me, he promised me that he would be back. So a few months went by after Bobby returned to Nashville. I think he had stayed in touch with my mother and father pretty much the whole time that he was gone. He had called one night, late in the evening, and he had asked to speak to me. And so I got on the phone, and he told me, he said, I'm going to come back to Myrtle Beach, and this time I'm going to stay. So, this is the greatest news ever. I mean, I was thinking, this is unbelievable. So, the next month, Bobby came and he moved in to our family home. And my father added on a studio apartment to his house so that Bobby could come and go anytime he wanted to. Bobby would poke his head into my room early in the morning, or mid-morning, and he would say in his quiet voice, off and on, Timmy, off and on, off your ass and on your feet. We got people to see and places to go, off and on. Bobby hated to fish. My father had taken me fishing my entire life. I loved to fish, but Bobby could not stand sitting and waiting on something to bite his line. But if I wanted to go, he'd take me. He would load up the car and say, let's go. And he would sit there while I enjoyed myself fishing, even though he didn't like it. And years, maybe a year went by as he took me around everywhere, and he asked me that I want to learn how to play guitar. And I had seen the band at the pool parties play, and I'd seen Bobby play, and I thought, man, that just looks like so much fun. Sure, I want to learn. And so he took the time to teach me chords, and I learned them, and after I could play them in progression, I told him I'd really like to sing. And he taught me that as well. And as they said, he was very humble. He would not brag about his talent. He would not do it. He would not go to strangers and tell them how good he was. He wouldn't waste his time. But he would tell everyone about my talent. He would spread the news in a room every day about how good I was. He was very proud of me. Bobby, I had won many talent shows around our area because of the talent that he had spread to me. He started booking us for shows. We formed a band together and played through my teenage years. And the reason that I probably landed my wife is because I can stand on the stage and play guitar and sing. She found that attractive. So, I owe that to Bob. I owe that to Bob. It sounds like a familiar story. And as I got older and I had played shows and played around the beach, I put a music career behind me and started a family of my own. And Bobby stayed with my parents and as a part of our family for 38 years. I just can't explain just how important he was to my family. He was just as present as a mother and father every day. All those years, he would hop out of bed and he would just about run to the door, and he would be off in his car, going to the mall, going to the restaurant, going to the water park. even up to a couple of years ago. At 84 years old, leaving to go to a water park in Myrtle Beach, buy water and wheels, and spend the entire day there. The entire day, all day long. I don't know that I could do that today. He had a youthful spirit his entire life. All that I knew him. He stayed young his entire life. I never saw him slow down. Bobby was a big brother, a second father, a bandmate, a teacher, and a lifelong best friend of me. And music was a lot to him, but Bobby was everything to me. Thank you.
I just wanted to say really quick that I tell everybody that I picked Bobby up, and that's how our family got to know him, but I'm just now learning that Mom and Dad actually knew him before I did, but he, I was about 5 or 6 years old out by the pool at the Firebird Motel, the motel that they ran, and Bobby was a winter rental there, and he taught me how to swim, and I was at the pool today, Timmy and I thought I wouldn't know how to swim if it wasn't for Bobby, probably. On the way here yesterday, we were playing old country music, and we talked about how the reason we love country music is probably because of Bobby. And, but he was like a second father to us. He was a friend. When he came back from Nashville, I begged him to stay, and I didn't know that story about him calling Timmy and telling him that he was gonna stay, but we just didn't want him to leave because he was like a big kid. He took us and did all the touristy things with us, and we went putt-putt and ice cream and all the touristy things while our parents were working. They didn't really do the touristy things, and he was a lot of fun. And I know one time I had a party when Mom and Dad went out of town, and Bobby was there, and he probably bought me my first bottle of Tickled Pink. Or strawberry hill or something like that. But we had a party, and he was really cool. We never said anything. He was just very cool. And like you know, where a parent would be our father, he was the cool second dad. Yeah. So all the years that we've known Bobby, he would brag about his grandkids, Austin and Alex, and how they learned to play the guitar. And he, of course, would brag about Molly and her plays, and even how healthy she eats and how their healthy lifestyle. We heard a lot daily about how proud he was of you guys. Molly, the kids, I felt like I knew Alex's wife before I ever met her because he told me so much about you. So of course when we came in February, we felt like we already knew you guys because he was very, very, very proud of his family. We might have been like a second family, but you guys were his family, and he talked about you nonstop. And he was very proud of you and told us how you graduated law school and all your accomplishments through the years. So Bobby was unique, and all of those things that you said are true. He was very simple, and he didn't require a lot. But the people in his life meant so much to him. His family, his friends. And so I just, I don't like to speak in front of a crowd, so this is for you, Bobby. And I'm doing this for you, so.